Now on CoastTV News.
Flames force evacuation. The dangerous situation across the Delaware Bay continues with thousands of acres burned in a wildfire.
Broadkill bites how new restaurant chains proposed for Milton are moving closer to a construction date.
Pricey pump plans, the seven-figure cost of options for upgrades to part of Lewes's wastewater system.
Cooling down a bit for Delmarva today with a cooler onshore flow. Comfortable conditions through the end of the week, then a rainy start to the weekend. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025.
And we're coming off an 80-degree day on Tuesday. We probably won't get there today listening to some of Bob's forecast last hour.
But I do think it's perfect weather for lawn work.
It is. Well, it's a good thing because it's on the agenda today.
That is Matt's big chore after work today.
The amount of time we have spent talking on this subject, I might sell tickets if you want to come over and watch this display this afternoon. Bob, you're welcome to help out.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to help. I'll supervise. And I want video evidence of Matt, doing his lawn work. Now, I know he does a spectacular job. Just like to see it for video purposes. All right. It's a good day to do that. It'll be a little cooler than yesterday. We were in the low 80s yesterday. 58 in Salisbury right now, 59 in Georgetown, 60 in Ocean City, 63 at Indian River Inlet. As we're looking at a northeast wind beginning to pick up now. We're dry, mostly cloudy across Sussex County. We had some sprinkles from Salisbury out to Ocean City, but now those are beginning to kind of wane, but still seeing some showers around Crisfield towards areas just north of Chincoteague. And even heavier rain, southern tip of Delmarva, even some thunder there, but that continues to get suppressed to the south as we have a cooler northeast flow and high pressure building in with improving conditions. So on Futurecast, you can see we're starting to see more in the way of sunshine by mid-morning and temperatures in the 50s and 60s. By noon, cooler at the beaches, 50s there, 60s at the coast, and then lower 70s, some inland spots by late this afternoon, but cooler 50s and 60s at the beaches. And you'll definitely need to bundle up a little bit on the ferry as we're seeing a brisk northeast wind and temperatures in the 50s, then eventually lower 60s later this morning with a mix of sun and clouds.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this half hour, a massive wildfire burning in Ocean County, New Jersey. Fire officials first alerted locals about this fire just before 12:30 Tuesday afternoon. And as of last night, the wildfire had burned about 8,500 acres. 1,300 structures have been threatened. Mandatory evacuations are in place in the surrounding area, and several roads are shut down.
New this morning, exploring upgrades for a pump station in Lewes. 3 options and prices are expected to be reviewed at this afternoon's Board of Public Works meeting. Each option comes with at least a $1 million price tag. 2 options include a new structure. The board will have at least a month to decide after today. Their next meeting is scheduled for after Memorial Day weekend.
Happening today, exploring options for lowering the number of crashes on Delaware roads. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is focusing on initiatives to prevent traffic injuries and deaths, and today it is hosting the first in a series of public forums. Office says it affects everyone, whether you walk, ride, or drive, and this forum is at Deltec's Georgetown campus at 6 p.m.
New overnight, we have an update about 2 fast food proposals for Milton. We're talking about plans to build a Dairy Queen and Dunkin' both on Broadkill Road. Milton's Planning and Zoning Commission gave both projects preliminary approval in a meeting on Monday evening. And people we spoke with say they're excited about the possibility of more food options coming to the town.
A Dairy Queen would be nice because just going to get ice cream, take them to get ice cream, and then not have to get like Kings and stuff right away.
I think a lot of the bigger corporations, all those businesses are franchised, so they are really local. Someone locally owns those businesses, and they're just using the big franchisee recipes, if you will.
And more approvals are needed before a Dairy Queen and or Dunkin' Donuts will officially move to Milton. The Dairy Queen planned for 405 Broadkill Road and the Dunkin' is planned for 403 Broadkill Road.
Developing news out of Georgetown, where upgrade plans continue at the Delaware Coastal Airport. According to the Airport Advisory Committee, they're looking at a new parallel taxiway and a restriping project. Also in the works here is Eastern Shore natural gas installation. There will also be an update on wildlife management. This meeting is set to take place at 6 p.m. at the Sussex County Emergency Center.
If you plan on heading to the Lewes-Georgetown Trail today, there is an update. DELDOT is announcing a temporary closure. The agency says in an effort to control vegetation, they will use herbicide in the area. DELDOT says work is scheduled to end at 8 a.m., and that herbicide isn't dangerous to people or wildlife.
A group called Action for Delaware's Children is pushing for more protection from lead poisoning. They're hosting a public forum focused on some pending legislation in the General Assembly that they say would require landlords to make rentals safer for children. This includes considering the possible exposure to lead-based paint and its impacts. People can attend the Thursday forum at the Dover Public Library at 6 p.m.
Delaware State Police are responding to a social media post from news outlet First State Update. The post featured an edited image of a state trooper in uniform with alterations made to the uniform. DSP called it, quote, unacceptable and disrespectful. In a statement, Delaware State Police Superintendent said, quote, this mockery and service of sacrifice defames our agency's credibility and the entire first responder community.
Going to get a live look now at Vatican City. It's just after noon there. What we're seeing, this is the transfer of Pope Francis's coffin taking place and the ceremonies that go along with it. This is live happening right now. The world continues to mourn the passing of Pope Francis, and Catholic Church officials are preparing for his funeral.
NBC's Jay Gray shows us the transfer ceremony for worshipers to pay their respects.
Pope Francis comes back to St. Peter's Basilica for the last time. His body lying in state through Friday evening. The faithful, hundreds of thousands, traveling from around the world to say one final goodbye.
He's in our hearts. He's with God right now.
Cardinals continue gathering at the Vatican ahead of Saturday's funeral. Now, meeting daily for private general congregations. Conversations that can at times turn to who among them could become the next pope.
Cardinal X will say to Cardinal Y, I've been talking about this to Cardinal Z. Let's go have a pizza.
135 cardinals, all under the age of 80, will elect the new pontiff during a highly secretive conclave inside the Sistine Chapel. 80% of that group, 108 cardinals, appointed by Francis, 20 from countries that had never had a cardinal before.
The Cardinals really face two choices in this election. Do they want to continue on the path of reform that Francis initiated, of opening the church up to the modern world, or do they want a course correction to elect a pope that's perhaps more focused on doctrine and discipline?
An answer that will only be known when white smoke fills the sky above Vatican City. Jay Gray, NBC News, Rome.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, Milford wants wildflowers, making roads in the city more appealing, and DELDOT's role in that plan.
Also, Milton is exploring the traffic impacts from its crosswalk paintings. We'll tell you what officials hope to accomplish as work is expected to continue today.
And Tesla profit problem got the cause to a drop in revenue. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
Just about 6:11 on this Wednesday morning, looking at the FH FurCam in Cambridge. We're looking at lots of clouds, nothing in the way of rain here, but a little cooler, 61 degrees. And we have seen some showers farther to the south. Sussex County has been dry. We've seen a few showers and sprinkles from Salisbury to Ocean Pines. Those have dried up. Still seeing some a little bit farther south, down near the Chincoteague area, with a steadier rain now beginning to move offshore, southern tip of Delmarva, as a cold front is settling in, and we're getting into a cooler northeasterly flow as we go through the day. Out the door right now, temperatures in the 50s and 60s with that northeast wind beginning to pick up. So I would go with the extra large coffee. I know, not a big shock. A little cream in there. No snickering from Matt, please. 71 degrees, breezy and cooler as we go through the afternoon.
Snicker? Never. New this morning in Georgetown, DELDOT announcing the closure of Wood Branch Road between Sussex Pines Road and Cedar Lane. This is at the railroad crossing, which that's what we're showing you on your screen. DELDOT says this is going to take place Friday, May 2nd. It's expected to be completed by the following Thursday, May 8th. This is so Delmarva Central Railroad can work on repairs and maintenance.
DELDOT has announced some speed limit changes along the Dewey Beach to the Delaware-Maryland state line. The first changes went into effect April 21st. If you're heading south from Dewey Beach to about Conquest Road, it was originally 55 miles per hour, but now according to DelDOT, it has been changed to 35 miles per hour. And northbound just before Conquest Road to Dewey Beach, that speed limit is 55 miles per hour, but it will be changing to 50 miles per hour. And to see a full list of changes, head to our website, CoastTV.com.
Summer is about 2 months away. Summer jobs are at the ready. Today, people can find full and part-time opportunities at the Worcester County Job Fair. This event takes place from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Snow Hill Volunteer Fire Company. And organizers say representatives from the Worcester County Health Department, Department of Labor, and other agencies will be in attendance.
Tesla's revenue and earnings dropped in the first quarter. The company reported that its revenue fell 9%, with auto revenue falling 20%. Both drops were bigger than expected. Tesla is less exposed to tariffs than most other automakers, but the company said it would have to revisit its guidance because of current trade disputes.
The popular streaming service Max is launching a new feature called Extra Member Add-on. It'll cost you about $8 a month to add a family member or friend who does not live with a Max user. And the move comes after Max parent company Warner Brothers Discovery was getting ready to notify users of restrictions for sharing streaming accounts outside their household.
We're seeing brightening skies right now in Laurel, looking at mostly cloudy skies, 58 for you. It will be a little cooler with a cool down across Delmarva today with the northeast flow that is coming right off the chilly Atlantic Ocean. Then comfortable for the rest of the week, and then the weekend starting a little on the wet side, but it looks like a drier and cooler Sunday. I'll have the details of my full forecast in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 6:16 and we have a live look. This is one of my favorite cameras, Bob. We got Cambridge here. We see some boats. Bob, I think we're going to see some boats this weekend starting Friday at the DSN Expo.
Yeah, I think so. Boats, all kinds of great stuff for the outdoors, Matt. And we're looking at the forecast for the DSN Outdoors Expo, and I think it's 50-50. It begins on Friday, and then I think the weather does sour on Saturday, but it's up in Harrington at the Delaware State Fairgrounds, Friday 3 to 8 p.m., and then Saturday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And on Friday, the weather is going to be pretty good. We're going to see a mix of sun and clouds by mid-afternoon when the expo starts, mid-70s, and that continues till about 5 o'clock. And then cooling down as we go into the evening hours, but staying dry with the southeast wind. Then Saturday, different story. It looks like we're going to see some showers building in. 59 in Georgetown now, 58 in Salisbury, 61 in Ocean City, 62 at Indian River Inlet. Not a big climb in temperatures today as the winds are beginning to come in out of the northeast, a little stronger at the beaches, gusting to 20 miles per hour at Indian River Inlet. So we'll see that northeasterly breeze cooling us down today. We've got mostly cloudy skies across Sussex County. We had some showers earlier from Salisbury towards Pittsville, out towards the beaches. That has dried up, but still seeing some showers around Crisfield back through George Island Landing and Chincoteague. You're surrounded by the showers with the heavier rain now moving off the southern tip of Delmarva into the Hampton Roads area. You can see some of these heavier showers and storms moving offshore from there, and that's along and ahead of a cold front as that cold front continues to sink to the south and high pressure building in and the flow around that high coming in out of the northeast. And this high will settle over us, bringing us that cooler weather the next couple of days. Futurecast this morning has the clouds beginning to thin out as that northeast flow starts to strengthen, and we're looking at lower 60s mid-morning, cooler 50s and 60s at the beaches. By noon, we're looking at upper 60s around Salisbury, mid-60s Millsboro, and 50s and 60s at the coast. Probably a little warmer than these numbers, but then by later in the afternoon, upper 60s around the 113 corridor to lower 70s a little farther inland. Then it cools down a little more tonight with clear skies by midnight in the 50s, and definitely chilly Thursday morning with mid-40s away from the coast. And another good-looking day on Thursday by noon, warming into the 70s inland, cooler for the coast. And I think we're looking at mid-70s away from the coast into the afternoon hours tomorrow. We're going to see increasing clouds later Friday, and then Saturday it's going to be kind of a showery, wet day. By 2 p.m. we're looking at showers that could be heavy at times, maybe a rumble of thunder, and then a cold front sliding through will end the showers Saturday evening, and then Sunday is drier and cooler. So at least we salvage part of the weekend. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 71 today, a chilly 47 tomorrow morning, and then mostly sunny Thursday, 73, 76 Friday. There's that rain chance and maybe some rumbles of thunder too on Saturday with 75, a cooler 68 on Sunday, but sunshine. We keep it sunny into Monday, and then milder, mostly sunny Tuesday, and a high of 78.
Thank you, Bob. Happening today, calming traffic with art. That is Milton's approach to safer roadways for pedestrians. The art is used to draw attention to walkers, and this latest crosstalk is the 13th, the town to be painted. At the intersection of Mulberry and Federal Street, the lily pads are painted by volunteers eager to promote safety.
So we have a lot of people that came out to volunteer to help us paint, and also to remind drivers that they are required by state law to stop at every pedestrian crossing when there is a person who wants to cross.
It can bring joy to the community because it's like cool.
And Milton started this initiative in 2023 with several other crosswalks throughout the town. The project had been postponed earlier this week, but it is expected to continue today.
More to come this morning on Coast TV News Today. Milford wants wildflowers. We'll tell you, and officials are set to discuss a proposal that would make the city more appealing. Don't go anywhere.
The Delaware Department of Education is welcoming 2 new leaders. You see them on your screen. Denise Carter will serve as Deputy Secretary for Strategic Initiatives. Adam Schott, he's been named Associate Secretary for Student Support. This comes as the Secretary of Education is preparing for a big change in funding to focus more on student needs.
Happening today in Milford, a push to make the city more appealing. Officials will discuss a proposal to plant wildflowers along medians on Route 113. DelDOT says it is working with the city on the project, but Milford will be responsible for any costs. This includes materials, maintenance, and planting. The city will discuss this today at 6 p.m. And coming up this Friday and Saturday, head on over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoor Expo. That will be on Friday the 25th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturday the 26th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The DSN Outdoors Expo at Harrington Fairgrounds this weekend. And Matt, yesterday it was so warm I actually had to turn on my air conditioning for the first time.
Boy, we try to avoid that. We didn't go with the windows
I only did
open
for a few minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so but we really try to hold off until middle of summer, middle of June. Yeah. But Bob, looking at your temperatures there, I think if you're living along the coast, you are not going to need any AC today.
Well, Mother Nature's AC today. Yeah, no, yesterday I couldn't hold out either. I'm like, oh, where's the AC? There it is in the car. Had to turn it on, but it'll be cooler today. Maybe some showers early on for Assateague and Chincoteague. Otherwise, I think you'll see some sunshine, but much cooler with 50s and 60s for both these locations. Feeling cooler with the northeast wind. Fenwick Island, lower 60s all day today. That's it. And only upper 50s in Ocean City. So make sure you have a heavier windbreaker there. The next 3 days on the Bayside, Cambridge 71 today, and then pleasant 70s with a warming trend into the end of the week. It's raining in Crisfield now. A few more showers this morning, otherwise drying out, and then cool today, but then lower 70s as we go into tomorrow and Friday. And the weekend, 50-50. Rain showers Saturday, better on Sunday. Much more on your weather coming up in the next half hour.
And after the break on Coast TV News Today, possible pump station upgrades. We'll tell you what Lewes officials are considering today.
Also, tariff turmoil relief, the potential change in global trade after statements made by President Trump this week.
And Pope Francis' international impact. Will tell you new details of his funeral and how clergy all over the world is honoring the pontiff. Coast TV News Today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Francis' funeral nears. We learned more about the plans coming out of Vatican City and the action that took place this morning.
Sweetness and zoning, ice cream, and donut chains take the next steps towards moving to Milton.
Big Bill Brewing, we look at the cost of the options being reviewed in Lewes to upgrade the city's pump station.
Cooling down a bit for Delmarva today with a cooler onshore flow. Comfortable conditions through the end of the week, then a rainy start to the weekend. Details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
April 23rd, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And the time is 6:28. It is a rocking the red Wednesday.
Yes.
Capitals have game 2 in the playoffs against the Canadiens tonight.
And then we also have the Cavs play tonight, too. We've got a lot to watch.
Got a lot. You got your Cavs, you got your Caps. You are all playoff loaded up here.
I am all set. Well, I know someone else who also has some sports to watch this afternoon. His name is Bob. He likes the Mets.
Got some day baseball, Bob.
Yeah, we all have day baseball. Mets have it. Your Braves and Cleveland too, maybe. So it's getaway day in baseball. Lots of sports going on. We're looking at a chillier morning across Delmarva. Sussex County is dry. We're mostly cloudy. We had a few showers earlier into Salisbury, back through the coast. Looks like those have dried up, but still some showers hanging on around Crisfield. Maybe some brief heavy rain into Shelltown over towards Chincoteague. But this is beginning to move out. This should be off the coast here in the next hour or so, as we're seeing heavier rain, even thunderstorms down into the Hampton Roads area. Some showers across northeast North Carolina as well. But that's all staying to the south as a cold front is suppressing that activity in that direction. We're seeing a northeast flow taking over with cooler conditions. Out the door, it's in the 50s and 60s, and not a big rise in temperatures today with a northeast wind, as we'll be seeing those clouds beginning to thin out through the morning hours. And it will be cooler too by noon. We're in the mid to upper 60s away from the coast, 50s at the beaches. I think we're a little warmer than the numbers here. 60s there, and then I think lower 70s inland areas. Bus stop forecast, it's back to school, or they were back to school in Maryland, and that continues off in Sussex County. 57 with a stray shower this morning, and then heading home breezy and cooler than yesterday. A temperature around 68.
Thank you, Bob. And we are now going to go live to Vatican City in Italy, where just a few hours ago, the coffin containing Pope Francis's body was taken to St. Peter's Basilica. A procession passed through St. Martha's Square and then into St. Peter's Square before entering the Basilica. Pope Francis's funeral will be held Saturday at 10 a.m. local time, with Cardinal Giovanni Battista presiding over the funeral liturgy. The impacts of Pope Francis's work and the reaction to his passing being seen all over the world.
We praise God for the gift that Pope Francis was to all of us, a gift to be long savored. We're grateful to God for what he taught us by how he lived and by how he died.
The funeral mass will be celebrated in the churchyards of St. Peter's Basilica before the pontiff's body is taken to the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore for burial.
To mark the passing of Pope Francis, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer has ordered flags at all state-owned buildings and facilities to be flown at half-staff until sunset Saturday, April 26th. In a full statement, Meyer said, in part, quote, Delaware mourns the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis, a revolutionary spiritual leader whose grace, humility, and unwavering compassion transforms lives and inspired hearts across the globe, end quote.
On Monday, Maryland Governor Wes Moore followed the federal order and announced the U.S. flag and the Maryland flag be lowered to half-staff. Here is the statement. I join Catholics across Maryland alongside the broader faith community, our country, and those all over the world who mourn his passing and honor with deep solemnity his legacy of service. The flag will remain at half-staff until sunset on the day of interment. And the International Monetary Fund and World Bank Group are meeting in Washington this week. The location might be fitting given the IMF's newly released World Economic Outlook. It says President Donald Trump's tariffs are slowing down the U.S. and global economy.
Sammy Kiley shows us Trump is showing signs he might ease up on some of his positions.
The president and the administration are setting the stage for a deal with China.
President Donald Trump is softening two of his most contentious economic positions, but a new report shows it might be too little too late. He says the tariff on many Chinese imports eventually won't be, quote, anywhere near the current level. It's 145% after his repeated hikes.
I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to play hardball with China. I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. No. We're going to be very nice.
Trump also appears to be walking back his social media post that says the Federal Reserve Chair's termination can't come fast enough.
I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates.
The change of tone follows yesterday's grim report from the International Monetary Fund. It forecasts a global economic slowdown of 0.5% year over year. It predicts an even bigger hit to the U.S. economy. The IMF says it revised its forecast due to Trump's trade announcements on April 2nd. They include a 10% universal tariff, reciprocal duties that are on hold for 90 days, and hikes on Chinese imports.
Everybody is saying that the U.S. economy is in trouble, but the administration continues to say it's just a bit of transient or few transient problems. It's more than that, and the evidence is there.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
New in Lewes, moving closer to a solution for the city's pump station. In fact, 3 options are expected to be reviewed at this afternoon's Board of Public Works meeting. The most expensive costs over $2 million. It's for a new station in Wetwell. At just under $2 million, getting a new station and combining the Wetwell with submersible pumps. It's $1 million for floodproofing the existing pump station. It's all part of Lewes's Pump Station Resiliency Study.
Happening today in Georgetown, possible plans to upgrade the Delaware Coastal Airport are on the agenda. According to the Airport Advisory Committee, they're looking at a new parallel taxiway and restriping project. Also in the works is Eastern Shore natural gas installation, and there will be an update on wildlife management. This meeting takes place at 6 p.m. tonight at the Sussex County Emergency Center.
Also today, exploring options for lowering the number of crashes on Delaware roads. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety focusing on initiatives to prevent traffic injuries and deaths. Today, it is hosting the first in a series of public forums. The office says it affects everyone, whether you walk, ride, or drive, and this forum is at Deltec's Georgetown campus at 6 p.m.
We have an update about 2 fast food proposals in Milton. We're talking about plans to build a Dairy Queen and Dunkin', both on Broadkill Road. Milton's Planning and Zoning Commission gave both projects preliminary approval in a meeting earlier Monday evening. More approvals are needed before a Dairy Queen and/or Dunkin' will officially be built in the town. The Dairy Queen is planned for 405 Broadkill Road, the Dunkin' planned for 403 Broadkill Road.
In the Lewes-Georgetown trail closure that we've been telling you about, according to DelDOT, it's scheduling to be happening right now. It's going to end pretty soon. DelDOT says this is to control vegetation. That's why they had to close it. They will use an herbicide in the area. DelDOT says work is scheduled to wrap up around 8 a.m., less than 30 minutes from right now. The herbicide isn't dangerous to people or wildlife, according to DelDOT. Got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, beach cleanup continues. We'll show you what Tuesday's Earth Day cleanup looked like and details about another event this weekend.
Also, cross-conference competition. We got the thrilling back-and-forth softball battle between Decatur and Sussex Central.
Also, fighting major plant problem, we'll tell you how anglers are reacting to plans to kill algae in Salisbury's waterways. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
We salute Jennifer Tremont. Jennifer Tremont served with pride as a B-52 bomb loader during the Persian Gulf War, carrying on the legacy of a third-generation military family. In her 5th year of active duty, her greatest challenge arose. Her infant son was diagnosed with brain cancer. Jennifer made the brave decision to step away from her military dream to become his sole caretaker, traveling from her duty station in Louisiana to Memphis for treatment. For nearly 2 years, she fought a different kind of battle, with unwavering strength, love, and dedication. Today, her son remains stable at age 25. We salute Jennifer Tremont for her selfless service both as an airman and as a devoted mother.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
6:39 on our Wednesday morning, and a beautiful shot of the sunrise on the Tullin Razor Cam. Gorgeous shot. Some high wispy clouds, some contrails from the jets out there. Really nice. Cool upper 50s, some inland spots to lower 60s at the beaches right now, as we do have a northeast wind, and that will keep us cooler today. Dry across Sussex County, but we have some showers farther to the south near the Maryland-Virginia border around Chincoteague. Some heavier rain farther south from there, as we're watching a cold front sinking to the south, high pressure building in, and a cooler northeast flow. So still a nice day for golf out there. Not excellent. I'm just missing the putt. I'm in the good category on the putt. Breezy and cooler conditions and a high of 71. In case you missed it earlier, our umbrella winner today is David Owen from Bridgeville. Congratulations to him. From Coast TV and Paul Davis.
Hey Bob, Delaware is taking steps to craft an updated plan to protect the state's wildlife. Denmark is in the process of revising its wildlife action plan for the next 10 years, which the state says will guide the management of wildlife and habitats. Denmark says the theme of the updated plan is keeping today's wildlife from becoming tomorrow's memories. The public does have the chance to share their thoughts on a new plan at an upcoming information session in both July and August. And to learn more about that wildlife action plan, visit our website, coasttv.com.
Salisbury is launching a new effort to clean up local waterways. It starts next month. Field operation crews will treat Shoemaker Pond and other spots to fight hydrilla and harmful algae blooms. Both can threaten fish and even human health. And the city will use herbicides and algaecides with follow-up treatments based on severity. One fisherman we spoke to says he's skeptical of the method that is being used.
I did fish in Shoemaker when I was a kid, but I've always, from adults growing up to now, nobody's gonna eat out of there. And I hate harmful chemicals. I'm all with everybody nowadays with all natural stuff.
Important to note, a city spokesperson says the chemicals involved are approved, and the city says it will monitor progress and continue treatments each year if needed.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Last night we got a classic between Stephen Decatur and Sussex Central softball, and it went down to the wire. All tied at 3 in the 4th. Ava Snellsire goes yard for Decatur. Seahawks lead 4-3 in the 4th. Later on, all tied at 4. Madison McGinnis sends it back through the middle. Maddie Imschweiler trots home to make it 5-4 Seahawks in the 5th. But the trends of this game continue. Nakira Copes pounds a double into left center. A pair of runs come in to score, and that would be the finale of this masterpiece. Sussex Central wins it 6-5. And we're less than a week away from a new season of our ongoing docu-series Into the Trenches. This time, we follow the Cape Henlopen Vikings as they embark on a new voyage into their 2024 football season.
The late run last season, and then trying to explain that we're a different team.
You got to work harder because you went to the state ship, because there's a target on your head.
Understanding the stresses that these kids are under it's a little bit unique for me.
The expectations are high.
You're going to practice the way you play.
We can push even further this year and hopefully make a run for it again.
Into the Trenches, a new voyage. April 24th at 7:30 on the Delmarva Sports Network and DSN+. Sponsored by Preston Automotive.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 7 p.m., the Delmarva Shorebirds take on the Augusta Dream Jackets and then catch the final score at 10:30. Along with that game of the night on DSN Plus at 4 p.m., Salisbury Christian takes on Nanduit in baseball. Also at that time, the Salisbury School faces the Gunston School in pickleball. At 5:30, Holly Grove Christian plays Arcadia in girls soccer. And at 6:30, James M. Bennett at Parkside in girls lacrosse. And as you just saw, Into the Trenches is back for its 3rd season. This year, we follow the Cape Henlopen Vikings football team fresh off of their first state championship appearance in 40 years. Into the Trenches premieres tomorrow, April 24th at 7:30 on DSN and DSN+.
And here is what you can look forward to if you check in this afternoon on Coast Life.
Coming up today on Coast Life, I'll be working on the railroad all the live long day as we get to see some of the new stuff going in Lewes. They've got a great new exhibition to show you.
I actually roller skated on by there the other day. Hey! But we're also going to be chatting some books with our friends at Browseabout. We know we've got so many readers here along Delmarva's coast. You don't want to miss that.
Plus, Sunrise Rotary going to stop in. We've got a great conversation going on. You want to see what they've got happening so you can maybe get involved.
All that fun and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
We're seeing We're seeing cloudy skies now in the gutter helmet cam in Ocean View. The waves getting kicked up a little bit with that northeast breeze on the bay. It's a cool down today for Delmarva, then comfortable the rest of the week. The weekend starts wet for Saturday, but then it looks like a nice end on your Sunday. I'll have your full forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 6:47, and we're taking a live look outside at Lewes this morning. And Bob, yesterday, as we mentioned, it was warm outside. Today, it's still going to be nice outside, just slightly cooler.
Yep, and a beautiful sunrise in progress right now over Delaware Bay, Lisa. And yes, yesterday you had that summer feel with temperatures in the low 80s. We're going to cool things down today with a northeast flow. Average high now is 68. I think we're looking at lower 70s inland areas, but cooler at the beaches. Up to 73 Thursday, 76 Friday, mid-70s into Saturday. That's when rain chances increase. And then it does cool down on Sunday, but the sunshine returns and high around 68. Right now we're in the 50s and 60s. With lots of clouds, 60 in Ocean City, and the same for Indian River Inlet, 59 in Georgetown. Delmar also at 59 degrees. Not a big rise in temperatures today because we have a northeast wind that's beginning to pick up. It's sustained around 12 to 18 miles per hour at the coast, now gusting over 20 miles per hour at Indian River Inlet, 13 in Millsboro. So that northeast wind will bring us cooler conditions for today. And right now it's mostly cloudy. We've been dry in Sussex County. You had a few showers earlier from Salisbury out towards the beaches, and still some ongoing showers around Crisfield, Shelltown, near Chincoteague right now. I think this is the last of it. You should be done with it probably within the next hour or so, with the heavier rain offshore down into the Norfolk area, northeast North Carolina. They had showers earlier, still hanging on to some showers across the Outer Banks, but the heavier showers and storms are now offshore as a cold front is moving to the south, and these showers will be suppressed to the south as we've got drier air building in around high pressure with that northeast flow. That will keep us cooler, and we'll also see decreasing clouds as we go through the day. And that area of high pressure keeping us high and dry the next few days. So this morning on Futurecast, we have mostly cloudy skies. They thin out by mid-morning, a little bit more in the way of sunshine, but definitely cooler with that northeast wind. By noon, we're into the mid to upper 60s away from the coast, but cooler 50s and 60s at the beaches. And by 4 o'clock, we're in the 60s and low 70s inland areas. I think we clear it out as we go through the overnight, but kind of chilly by midnight. We're in the 50s and really cool as we go into Thursday morning. You'll need that heavier jacket with mid to upper 40s out the door. A good looking Thursday on the way by the afternoon, mid 70s inland, cooler for the beaches, and similar conditions going into Friday. Friday morning, 40s and 50s, and then the southeast wind kicks in on Friday with temperatures in the 70s, increasing clouds. And that sets us up for some rain as we head into Saturday with the cold front. Some of those showers could be heavy at times. Then that front moves offshore, maybe a rumble of thunder too, and then it does dry out and cool off a little bit into your Sunday. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 71 today. Chilly start tomorrow morning, 47. 73 mostly sunny Thursday, mid-70s Friday, and then that rain builds in on Saturday. I know not the best timing, but we're going to see it with some rumbles of thunder too, 75. Sunday, sunshine, 68, and then a little cooler into Monday morning, and then sunshine on Monday with a high of 70, and then bouncing back into the upper 70s by Tuesday with mostly sunny skies.
Earth Day is over, but Beach Heroes OC isn't done cleaning the community. Locals can join the organization for another event this weekend. On Tuesday, people in Ocean Pines participated in a cleanup event in partnership with Beach Heroes OC. Pat Ryan Garcia, who chairs Ocean Pines Environment and Natural Assets Advisory Committee, thought, what better time to hold a cleanup than on Earth Day?
It's a great idea for people to get out, get some fresh air, get some exercise, and at the same time, they're doing something nice for our community.
And Beach Heroes OC is partnering with other local organizations for another Earth Day event. This Saturday is a semi-annual community cleanup at the Worcester County Library.
Yeah, this brings us to our CoastTV poll, and we want to know, what is your favorite way to give back to nature?
And so far, the majority of people say recycling more, and then helping wildlife and planting trees are tied, and beach cleanups at 10%. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so on CoastTV.com or on our mobile app. And the time is now 6:51, so we're going to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day.
And today's Coastal Pet of the Day comes to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. Check out Spruce, everybody. We are being told that Spruce loves his buddy Rufus, and you can usually find them both cuddled together underneath the cat tower in the room where it is nice and quiet. If you want to adopt Spruce or any other lovable pet, just head on over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yeah, if you do that, you can scan that QR code that's at the top center. That way you can get your friends to us, and you can watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:54, and here are the things you need to know before you go. New this morning, exploring upgrades for the pump station in Lewes. 3 options at prices expected to review at this afternoon's Board of Public Works meeting. Each option comes in at least $1 million price tag to include a new structure, and the board will have at least a month to decide.
Lewes-Georgetown Trail is getting treatment to control vegetation. It was scheduled to be closed at midnight, expected to reopen in about an hour from now at 8 a.m. DelDOT says they will use a herbicide in the area, and according to DelDOT, the herbicide is not dangerous to people or wildlife.
The Delaware Department of Education is welcoming these 2 new leaders. Denise Carter will serve as Deputy Secretary for Strategic Initiatives, and Adam Scott has been named Associate Secretary for Student Support. This comes as the State Secretary of Education is preparing for a major change in funding to focus more on student needs.
Happening today in Milford, a push to make the city more appealing. Officials are discussing a proposal to plant wildfires along medians like this on Route 113. DelDOT says it's working with the city on the project, but Milford will be responsible for any costs, and that includes materials, maintenance, and planting. City officials are set to discuss this today at 6 p.m.
And the time is now 6:55, so we're going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, Bob, compared to yesterday, you say it's going to be cooler. I just find it odd calling potential 70-degree temperatures cooler.
I call it perfect, yeah.
Yeah, it is strange because 70 degrees is actually still above the average of 68, but it will not be nearly as warm as yesterday. We were up to 83 in Georgetown. We still have some lingering showers from Crisfield over to Chincoteague. Otherwise, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies this morning, starting out in the 50s, and then it's a slow warm up through the 60s as we have an east-northeast flow today. It's going to be cooler at the beaches. I think lower 70s inland areas, but lower to mid 60s at the coast. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. I'm going 71, but that is inland spots. And then tonight it clears out, and it's chilly down to 47 tomorrow morning. And then we have a nice day to end the week. In fact, 2 nice days. Thursday mostly sunny, 73, 76 on Friday with increasing clouds, and then we have some showers as we head into Saturday with some rumbles of thunder too possible. I know not the best timing. We've got the DSN Outdoors Expo, day 2 of that. It's going to be a little wet for that. 75, but then sunshine on Sunday, 68, sunny on Monday, 70 degrees, and then a warm up Tuesday into Wednesday. Up to Wednesday, it's up to 84 degrees with partly cloudy skies, and then mid 70s Thursday and Friday. Looks like another rain chance as we go into next week, but looks like Saturday is the only day of steady rain, and then not a lot of rain after that.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.